Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Oh, I feel like it's actually evening. I had a late night, cutting down some trees overnight with my buddy. Um, Took out two really big trees that were kind of tangled between some power lines. We were able to navigate it and get it down, cleaned up. So yeah, I was knocking that out from about 10 p.m. till about 4 a.m. this morning, something like that. Yeah, pretty tired day. So hopefully y'all are doing well. We'll get this show started. So if you have your Dr. Pepper, grab it. Do this on count of 23. Ready? 1, 2, 23. I love there's like three different pieces of that cracking open. All of it together is just beautiful. Oh man. All right, today's question, let's jump into it, is where is it? Right there? July 10th, 2026. What is your earliest childhood memory? Hmm. Now, see, this is kind of a tricky question. I have had a really, really good memory. Um, Sorry, I forgot to hit go live on anything. So, for those of you just now joining us, today's question is, what is your earliest childhood memory? So, my Dr. Pepper answer for this question. I don't remember the first time I had Dr. Pepper. I know growing up, my family we weren't allowed to drink soda, really. Um, and then when we were offered soda, we always took whatever we got. I remember I did drink the red and blue sodas back then because that's what was available, and I didn't know any better. Ignorance, you know. Um, but I know once I had Dr. Pepper, I never wanted the other ones. Just didn't care for them. Didn't taste as good. They weren't as enjoyable. Um, hmm, I know in high school, junior high, whenever we go to restaurants, I'd always get Dr. Pepper. I'd order it by the pitcher because I would just go through it so fast the server's couldn't keep up. When I was got my first job, my would be my sophomore year of high school. One of the things that sold me, I was at a restaurant. Oh, excuse me. And one of our perks was we got free drinks. So they had Dr. Pepper, and then I drank it all the time. Now, in full transparency, their Dr. Pepper was actually Pib Extra, but they sold it as Dr. Pepper, which I know a lot of companies and a lot of businesses do. They say it's Dr. Pepper, and it's actually Pib. I would rather drink an imposter than a competitor, so I drank that. Um, I do remember I have family in Kansas City. Growing up, a lot of times as a kid, I'd want Dr. Pepper, and they only Kansas City was a Pib area, so they had Pib instead of Dr. Pepper. But I drank that. Um, Cameron, I'm glad you're drinking a Dr. Pepper right now. I am also drinking Dr. Pepper. It's so good. Um, yeah, those are probably my early memories of Dr. Pepper and becoming such a um, dedicated consumer of that. Real life was my earliest memories. And I remember the floor print of my house. I could probably draw to scale the blueprint of what my house looked like and this layout. I remember going to the park with my neighbors. I remember my school. I remember kindergarten. My kindergarten teacher's name, who I will not tell you because I know there's too many of those security questions of like, what was your teacher's last name? So I'm not going to give you guys that information. But I remember making art in kindergarten after lunch at different centers, and I'd always make pizzas. We had a bunch of tissue paper, so I'd use red tissue paper to make pepperonis, and um, I remember just a lot of the different Sunday school classrooms and stuff from my church as a small child. I remember my mom being in the choir and I having to sit there and wait for her. And I was probably 4 or 5 years old. So I remember a lot of just different situations and scenarios. Um, I remember getting chickenpox twice when I was in kindergarten. That was not fun. Yeah, lots of just random memories, childhood memories. The earliest one, I don't know which one was the earliest. It's just all kind of a collection as you cycle through them. I remember painting our house, shared room with my brother. I remember we had a fish tank, a really big fish tank, and lots of fish in it. Um, I remember my brother always uh, playing DC Talk at Supertones and Audio Adrenaline Jars of Clay, Carmen, Kurt Franklin. I remember my brother used to collect comic books, and he would never let me touch them because they were quote unquote good. Mm. Ooh, this is date me. I remember playing the old school like pinball and solitaire on the computer. For those you playing Oregon Trail in your classroom, that wasn't so child's early. But I remember when my family picked a lot of my brother and I to paint our bedrooms. We shared a room, so my brother got a pick and he made it Chiefs colors with some red and gold and white. Just lots of random things I remember that as I sit here and think about, I can recall. I remember, oh yeah, this is probably real young memory. Probably back when I was like 3. But we had a black lab, and my black lab would bite my shoes while they were still on my feet and drag me up and down the stairs, which was fun, and I enjoyed that. So yeah, lots of just things that now, as I see her and keep remembering, they more goes back to me. But mhm. uh, uh, Cameron, I see your question about the Destiny servers. I'll hit that in a second because I remember when video games were you buy them, you get the physical copy, and you can actually play them as whenever you want, however long you want. And you didn't do digital downloads to where a company could be like, "Oh, hey, thanks for investing all this money. We're now going to cut you off because we don't want to run our servers." Jerks. Um, I remember when companies actually cared about the customer, and while they wanted to make money, that wasn't their concern. They were concerned about quality. I remember gas. This was it. I remember gas prices being 88 cents at the gas station on the street for me. Man, do I wish I had that the more recent memories of that, but I don't. Hmm. Hmm. I remember going to Nebraska games and having to keep up with my dad because he walked so fast. I remember going to College World Series games. I think I was in first or second grade. I got to run the bases after the championship game when LSU, I believe it was, won the game. That was pretty cool. The starting pitcher's dad sat right in front of my family, and so he let me go out on the field with them after the game. So that was fun. Um, so there's my Dr. Pepper, my real life answer, and then my faith answer. Um, like I said, a lot of my memories from my real life answer had to do with church and just being in church and school and being in a Christian school. Um, Uh, I you can play about any old school Christian worship music, and I remember it. I know somebody was playing. I think it was with Caleb when they were just doing like their throwback weekend during daylight saving time, and they're playing all the oldies and like the song would come on, and I'm singing it with it. My wife and daughter are looking at me like, "How do I know this song? When did you listen?" I was like, "Man, I remember that from my kid being a kid." There, I think I've talked about it before. There's a guy on Facebook. I think his name's Joel Jackson, and he goes back and re-sings a bunch of the old school worship songs with the new kind of fresh twist on them, and I've been enjoying those. Um, I remember going to Camparamas, the big Roll Ranger Camparamas, uh, in the Ozarks. Hmm. I remember liking camping, but also hating it because you're just out there in the middle of nowhere, and if you can't build it, fix it, or make it yourself, you're out of luck. And as a small child, you're out of luck unless someone's with you. And a lot of times where I was out of luck. But yeah, that's what I got for y'all tonight. Feel free, drop me a comment. Let me know what you remember of some of your early memories. And hopefully they include some Dr. Pepper. But as always, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Stay safe, stay caffeinated, be blessed, be a pepper. And until we drink again, see y'all next time.